My name is David Hartman, and how I became interested in the Civil War. Right after World War II, my grandfather took me to a parade in Louisville, Kentucky, and put me up on the shoulders, and he said to me, "Now here comes the real vets." And they were Civil War vets, and it just struck me. Now, we came here in the Harpers Ferry area in 1949. I was 12 years old. Very historical area. I started collecting Civil War paraphernalia. My grandfather seen that I was collecting Confederate, and he said to me, called me over and said, the men at Pearl Harbor weren't blue or gray, they were Americans. And so I started. My name is David Hartman. And now, early 50s, I became interested in theater, Civil Washington. And at that time, they had the John Wilkes Booth's pistol in just a little glass case. You could pick it up. In those days, it was different from now. In my studies on the Civil War, you have to run across Jackson, General Mack, Lincoln, everywhere, you know. And a friend of mine introduced me to a man that lived here in Charlestown, and his name was Roy Booth. And I asked him if he was related to John Wilkes Booth, and he said yes, he did. And he began to tell me, because I questioned him about this, you see. Now, the Booth family, Baltimore, they're great actors. They're like the movie stars of today. They acted in New York, Detroit, Washington, Chicago. Great actors. And this area here is a tourist area, a little vacation summer home area. People would take the train in from Washington, hour and a half. They'd be up here in the mountains, spend the weekend or the summer. Roy told me that this house here, that I'm on the back porch, Booth rented it. As far as I know, he didn't own it. And this was the Frank Cavalier farm. 340, the big highways and everything weren't here. The highway that runs in front of it is Charlestown Road, and that was the main road. Now, Booth in Baltimore and John Yates and Beale was his friends. They'd ride horses together and so on. Well, the Beale family moved to Charlestown because Charlestown at that time was big in tin roofs. This is where they made the tin roofs, shipped them out on trains, whatever. This was a tin roof capital. And the Beale family moved here. Well, when John Wilkes Booth found this out, they become friends again, all this. Now, when the war broke out, of course, Jackson's at the armory down here. He marches out. Beale's with him. Manassas. Beale gets wounded just awful. So bad that it took 3.5 years to recover in Charlestown here. So Beale, he is contacted by the Secret Service in Richmond, and they want him and Yates to go to New York to free some of these Confederate officers they had up there. Now, this was in February, I believe.
What year?
1865. 1865. I think they got caught on a train. And, of course, Lincoln signs a death warrant. Now they hang Beale and Yates. The bodies of those two, I don't know about Yates was shipped here at the same time, but I do know that Beale was shipped here at Harpers Ferry on the train. And Booth said that Beale was the brothers I never had. So they were very close. Now, Booth's here at the house, leaning against the front porch there, when they bring Beale by to Charlestown to bury him. I think around 22 days later, Booth assassinates Lincoln. At Ford Theater. My American cousin was playing at the time. And our studies, what I'm studying now did Booth kill Lincoln in revenge for him hanging Mr. Beale? Of course, we all know kind of nutty to assassinate anyone, but the Booth house here was a summer cottage, and that's about as far as I can go on that.
How often do you think Booth stayed here?
Well, Booth, was a charmer. Had that southern drawl. Washington was considered part of the South, and whether he brought ladies up here or had a lady friend, I don't know. Roy Booth said that he thought that he had a lady friend up here named Pam. Now, old Roy Booth had some papers out of the Bible and everything about John Wood. But when you assassinate a president, you're evil. So nobody wants to be named Booth. Nobody wants no pictures with him or anything. So, but Roy Booth's buried right over here at Harpers Ferry. He's a very nice gentleman. His father and them were moonshiners. So that's about it. As far as I know, he stayed here at this house. It's just an interesting theory. I've always said there's two sides of a coin.